My name is Zella, and I was born in a small village in Ghana, so close to the city that we could hear its noise on windy nights, yet so far that none of its opportunities ever reached us. Life in my village was simple, beautiful at times, but painfully difficult. Poverty wasn't just a condition, it was a companion that walked with us, sat with us, slept beside us, and dictated every part of our lives. Where I come from, water is more precious than gold. Our streams dried early, and the wells often had more mud than water. Our agricultural land, our only hope, was mostly dry, cracked like old leather, refusing to bear the crops we depended on. Some years, we harvested so little that our meals were reduced to once a day. My family was among the poorest. My mother struggled to feed us, and my father took whatever small job he could find, carrying loads, repairing broken tools, or helping neighbors plow fields. I was 18 then, still in school, still dreaming, and still hungry most of the time. I didn't know then that the seed of hope that would change everything, the future of my family, my village, and my own destiny, was not buried in the dry soil of our farmland. It was buried inside a schoolroom. Our school was small, 3 incomplete classrooms, dusty floors, patched blackboards, and desks carved with the names of students long gone. But it was full of life, full of hopeful children with bare feet and shining eyes. One day, the government brought something we had heard of but never experienced. Internet. A single computer, old but working, and a small router powered by a shaky solar panel. Our teacher, Mr. Ajay, announced it as though he was introducing us to a king. "Children," he said proudly, "with this, you can ask any question, and the internet will answer." We laughed, thinking it was magic. How can something answer every question? How can something know everything? It sounded unbelievable, until we tried. One afternoon, after complaining again about our failing crops, we asked, "Sir, can the internet tell us how to make our agricultural land better?" He nodded. "Let's ask." He typed the question slowly. The internet loaded. And then, answers appeared. We saw pictures, videos, articles, step-by-step guides. We learned that the dryness of our land wasn't a curse, it was a challenge with solutions. Rainwater harvesting. Drip irrigation. Drought-resistant crops. Soil conditioning. Mulching. Crop rotation. Natural fertilizers. I remember the moment clearly. My heart beat fast. My breath caught. Because for the first time in my life, poverty didn't feel permanent anymore. The next day, we searched again. And again. Our curiosity exploded like fireworks. We searched. How to grow crops in dry areas. How to improve soil quality naturally. How to start a small cattle farm. Which crops are best for our climate in Ghana. How to sell agricultural products at better prices. How to be financially free. We watched videos of young Africans who built thriving farms. We saw cattle farms that grew from 2 cows to hundreds. We saw communities that used knowledge, not money, to rise out of poverty. And then we asked the most important question of all. Can we do this? The answer wasn't from the internet. It came from inside us. Yes. We can. Right there in our classroom, dusty and broken as it was, we created something extraordinary. A plan that would change our entire village. Chapter 3, The Plan That United Us. Every student contributed. Alma found videos about drip irrigation using recycled bottles. Kojo discovered a method of turning dry soil fertile by mixing ash and compost. Ya learned about drought-resistant maize seeds. Fua researched grass types that cattle love and grow fast. And I, Zella, studied cattle medicines, feeding programs, and how to prevent diseases. We created a plan with 3 main pillars. 1. Crop improvement strategy. Use drought-resistant seeds. Introduce drip irrigation. Mulch to reduce water loss. Create compost from kitchen waste. Rotate crops every season. 2. Cattle farming expansion. Start small and grow every year. Use affordable feeding mixes. Prevent diseases with proper vaccination. Breed healthier cattle. Build simple shelters using local materials. Sell crops during high-demand seasons. Connect with city buyers. Form a village cooperative. Save as a group. Reinvest profits each year. This plan was more than ideas, it was hope printed on paper, a roadmap showing us a wealthier future. We asked our teacher if we could present our plan to the adults. He agreed, and one Saturday evening, under the big baobab tree in the center of our village, we shared everything. At first, the elders were quiet. Then questions came. How do you know this will work? Where did you learn this? What if we fail? We answered boldly. This is knowledge, I said. Knowledge from the world. Knowledge that others are using to become successful. And what if we succeed? That question changed the atmosphere. That question opened hearts. The adults listened again, this time not with doubt, but with hope. When we finished, the village chief stood up. His voice cracked with emotion. If our children believe we can rise, he said, then we must rise with them. We begin next year. And everyone clapped. Everyone. When the rains came the next year, we were ready. Every family worked with a renewed sense of purpose. I helped organize the cattle program. We started with a small number of cows, just a few per family. Students volunteered to record feeding times, check for diseases, and keep track of growth. The farmers used new planting methods. Water bottles hung over the soil like little lanterns of life, dripping water slowly and consistently. The soil responded. The crops responded. The land, once dry and stubborn, began to soften. Our harvest that first year was double what it used to be. When we took our crops to the nearby city market, buyers were shocked. How is your village producing so much this year? They asked. We smiled. We knew why. We had knowledge. By the second year, we had enough fertilizer from our cattle waste to enrich our soil. Our cattle were healthy, stronger and bigger than before. More families joined. More land was cultivated. More cattle were added. We formed a cooperative, which meant we sold our products together, negotiated better prices, and shared profits more fairly. By the third year, every child had 2 full meals a day. No family went hungry. We bought proper tools. We stored water in newly built tanks. We bought medicines for cattle in bulk. We repaired our school roof. We planted trees for shade and soil strength. We were becoming something we had never imagined. Financially stable. This is the year everything changed dramatically. People from other villages came to learn from us. NGOs visited and were amazed by our transformation. The city buyers came to us instead of waiting for us to come to them. Our cattle farm grew so large that we had to create 3 separate grazing areas. Children who used to walk barefoot now wore shoes. Farmers bought motorbikes to transport goods. Women started small businesses because they finally had savings. I, Zella, became known as the cattle girl, the one who knew everything, from medicines to breeding patterns. I was invited to speak at local youth events. I never imagined anyone would want to hear me speak. But they did. Because we had done something extraordinary. Today, at 23 years old, I stand in my village and the sight brings tears to my eyes. The land is green. The cattle graze freely. The market days are busy. The homes are improved. The storage barns are full. And the people? The people are smiling. Our village is no longer defined by poverty. We are financially free, not because someone rescued us, but because we used knowledge to rescue ourselves. The internet, one computer, one connection, became the spark that lit our path to prosperity. We became proof that knowledge is power. Technology can transform communities. Young people can lead change. Agriculture is a gateway to financial freedom. Most importantly, we learned that no matter how dry the soil is, no matter how poor the family is, no matter how difficult the situation seems. There is always a seed of hope waiting to grow. If you had asked me 5 years ago what my future would be, I would have said, I don't know. Maybe marriage. Maybe farm work. Maybe nothing special. But today, I know exactly who I am. I am Zella. A girl from a forgotten village. A girl who learned from the internet. A girl who helped change her community. A girl whose dreams are growing, as surely as our crops grow now. Our story proves that financial freedom is not only for the rich, not only for cities, not only for those born with opportunities. Financial freedom belongs to anyone who seeks knowledge, plans wisely, works together, and refuses to give up. And now, our village is planning even more: fish farming, a grain processing center, and a marketplace built with our own resources. The future is no longer something we fear. It is something we are building. Brick by brick. Cow by cow. Seed by seed. Day by day. All starting with a single question asked in a tiny classroom. How do we save our land? As I sit under the baobab tree, the same place we presented our plan 5 years ago, I watch the children of our village playing, laughing, and running through fields that used to be barren. They don't know hunger the way we knew it. They don't know hopelessness the way we felt it. Their future is brighter, richer, healthier. And I realize something incredible. We didn't just change our present. We changed our children's future. We planted not just crops and cattle, but a legacy of freedom. One day, when those children grow up and tell their story, they may not even remember that their prosperity began with a few students and a dusty old computer. But the world will remember. And I will remember. I will remember the first time I saw a solution appear on a computer screen. I will remember how powerful knowledge felt. I will remember how unity transformed us. I will remember how a village that almost gave up learned to rise again. Our story is not finished. This is only the beginning. The internet brought knowledge. Knowledge brought ideas. Ideas brought change. Change brought financial freedom. And financial freedom is bringing dreams we once thought impossible. I am Zella. I come from dry soil. But I grew. My village grew. And together, we discovered that when a community learns, it earns. When a community plans, it prospers. When a community believes, it becomes unstoppable. And now, we are unstoppable.
For more inspiring stories like this, please like the video and subscribe the Rich Trackers channel.